Alright, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, maybe trying to find enough loose change to treat yourself to a snack. Then boom! You stumble across a nickel, but wait, something about it seems different. Fast forward, and it turns out that little coin you almost tossed away is worth $3 million. Yup, today we're diving into the wild story of the 1974 no-mint-mark Jefferson nickel, how it's worth a fortune and how you could spot one. So grab your coin jar, folks, and let's get rich together. Okay, first things first. You're probably wondering, what's so special about this nickel? Here's the scoop. In 1974, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia accidentally, or maybe on purpose. Who knows? Either way, they didn't put a mint mark on some Jefferson nickels. Normally, coins made in Philly don't have mint marks anyway, but this one, it's different. Only a handful exist, and collectors are willing to shell out, wait for it, up to $3 million for the right one. Yeah, you heard that right, this isn't just pocket change, it's life-changing money. Now, don't go flipping over every nickel you find just yet, let's talk about how to actually identify one of these rare beauties. First, check the year. Look closely and make sure it says 1974 on the obverse side, which is the side with Thomas Jefferson's profile. Then, flip it over and check near Monticello. If there's no mint mark, that's right, nothing at all, you might have struck gold, or, well, nickel. Don't rely on your eyesight alone. Grab a magnifying glass or one of those fancy coin loupes. You'd hate to miss out on $3 million because you didn't look close enough, right? Here's where it gets juicy. This particular coin is valuable not just because of its no-mint mark status but also due to its rarity. Only a handful have been found in perfect condition, which drives collectors into a frenzy. It's like finding a first-edition Harry Potter book at a yard sale, the rarity makes it priceless. Plus, let's face it, coin collectors are a passionate bunch, and they're willing to pay big bucks for a piece of history. Let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. I was sorting through some old coins I found in my grandma's attic, a total treasure chest of random stuff. I found a 1974 nickel, no mint mark, and I was about to throw a party. But then, I noticed it had a massive scratch on it. Turns out, condition matters big time in the coin world. My $3 million dream? Down the drain. So here's my advice, if you find a potential winner, handle it carefully. No fingerprints, no scratches, treat it like a newborn baby. Now, about that $3 million price tag. That's the highest amount recorded for one of these coins in perfect condition. If your coin isn't flawless, don't worry, even less than perfect versions can still fetch tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine what you could do with even a fraction of that money: pay off debt, take a dream vacation, or finally buy that giant inflatable unicorn for your pool. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your change, folks. Whether it's an old piggy bank, a jar of coins, or even your kid's allowance, you never know what treasures you might find. And hey, even if you don't find a $3 million nickel, you'll at least have an excuse to sit on the floor surrounded by piles of coins. Sounds like a win to me. What if I told you that a humble nickel in your pocket could be worth millions? Yup, you heard me right, millions. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1981 mint mark Jefferson nickel, a coin that's turning heads and shaking wallets with a jaw-dropping market value of $2.8 million. So, grab your magnifying glass, dust off those old coin jars, and let's see if you're sitting on a gold, nickel mine. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more hidden coin treasures and money-making tips. Trust me, you don't want to miss out, because your next latte might just cost 5 cents, literally. Alright, so what's the deal with this nickel? Why on earth would a 5-cent coin be worth $2.8 million? Let's break it down. The 1981 Jefferson nickel is special because of a rare minting error. If you're new to coin collecting, here's a quick rundown. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin-making process. It could be an off-center strike, a double die, or, in the case of this nickel, a bizarre combination of factors that makes it one of a kind. Now, here's the kicker. The exact details of the error are still somewhat of a mystery, which only adds to its allure. Some experts believe it has to do with an experimental process at the Philadelphia Mint. Others speculate it was a one-off mistake. Either way, this little coin has collectors drooling like kids in a candy store. So how do you know if you've got one? First, check the date, 1981. Then, look for the P mint mark, which should be on the obverse, that's the head side, featuring our buddy Thomas Jefferson. Lastly, if you've got a coin that seems off in any way, weird edges, strange coloring, or unusual weight, get it checked out by a professional. A $20 appraisal could turn into $2.8 million. Not a bad ROI, huh? Speaking of checking, let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was rummaging through an old shoebox at my grandma's house. I found a pile of nickels, dimes, and lint. At first, I thought, great, more junk. But then, I remembered the 1981 P nickel buzz and decided to take a closer look. Did I find the nickel? Nope. But I did find a coin worth $150. Not bad for something that had been hiding in a box of sewing supplies for 30 years. Moral of the story: never underestimate those forgotten corners of your house. Back to our star nickel. Why is it worth so much? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, fancy word alert, go absolutely bonkers for rare finds. And when you combine rarity with mystery, well, that's a recipe for sky-high prices. In auctions, the 1981 P. Jefferson nickel has sparked bidding wars, with collectors shelling out millions just to own a piece of numismatic history. Now, if you're thinking, oh great, another thing to worry about, don't stress. The odds of finding this exact nickel are slim, but the world of coin collecting is full of hidden gems. Even if you don't find the $2.8 million jackpot, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there. Think wheat pennies, silver dimes, or even state quarters with errors. It's like a treasure hunt you can do in your pajamas. What's not to love? Alright, folks, that's the scoop on the 1981 P Mint Mark Jefferson nickel. Could you be the lucky owner of a multi-million-dollar coin? Only one way to find out: start digging through your change, your couch cushions, and yes, even grandma's shoeboxes. Who knows? That spare change might just change your life. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the change jingling around in your pocket? You know, those nickels you toss into a jar or maybe the cup holder of your car. Well, what if I told you one of those humble little nickels could be worth $2.7 million today? Yeah, you heard me right. $2.7 million. I'm talking about the 1982 D. Jefferson nickel. So, if you've been ignoring your spare change, now's the time to rethink your life choices, or at least your approach to coin collecting. Stick around because I'm spilling all the juicy details on why this little coin is turning heads in the collector world and how you just might stumble upon one yourself. Okay, so let's dive into it. Why on earth is a 1982 D. Jefferson nickel worth $2.7 million? First off, the D on this coin stands for Denver, where it was minted. But this isn't just any run-of-the-mill nickel. The reason this coin is so special boils down to a rare minting error. Yep, mistakes can be valuable, folks. In this case, the mint accidentally produced a small number of these nickels with a unique, unintentional design variation. These errors are so rare that only a handful have ever been confirmed to exist. Now, before you run to your coin jar, let's talk about what to look for. The 1982 D nickel you're hunting for has a slightly different design on the reverse. That's the side with Monticello on it. The steps on the Monticello are sharper and more detailed than usual, and there are some subtle differences in the lettering. It's these tiny differences that set this coin apart. Think of it like the rare Pokemon of nickels. Here's a funny story. When I first heard about this coin, I spent an entire weekend digging through old jars of coins. Spoiler alert, no jackpot for me, but I did find a few wheat pennies and a quarter from 1965. Not bad, right? Anyway, the point is, this treasure hunt can be fun, even if you don't find the big one. Now, let's talk value. Why is this coin worth $2.7 million? That's because it's a unicorn in the coin world. Its rarity, combined with the demand from collectors, has driven its value through the roof. A few years ago, one of these coins sold at auction for $2.7 million, setting a record. It's not just about having the coin, it's about having it in excellent condition. If you've got a 1982 D nickel with this rare error in mint condition, bingo, you're sitting on a fortune, but don't go quitting your day job just yet. These coins are insanely rare, and finding one is a little like winning the lottery. Still, there's no harm in checking your change. Who knows? You might get lucky. Plus, if you're serious about coin collecting, it's a great excuse to start hitting up garage sales, flea markets, and maybe even grandma's coin jar. Just ask first. Okay, alright, my fellow change chasers, there you have it, the 1982 D. Jefferson nickel, the $2.7 million marvel. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, this coin is proof that big things can come in small packages, or small coins, in this case. So next time you're about to toss a nickel aside, give it a second glance. Who knows? That little guy might just change your life. Boom, you stumble upon a nickel. But not just any nickel. This one could be worth $2.50 million. Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 1984 P. Mint Mark Jefferson nickel, a little coin with a big price tag. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be inspired to go rummage through your spare change. Alright, let's dive in and see what makes this nickel so special and why collectors are drooling over it like it's a rare steak. Or, a rare coin. Okay, so first things first, why is the 1984 P. Jefferson nickel turning heads in the coin world? It's all about rarity and condition. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P. Mint mark, and while millions of these were made, only a handful in pristine condition have survived. And when I say pristine, I mean perfect. We're talking sharp details, flawless surfaces, and no scratches or wear. Basically, it's like the coin just rolled off the press yesterday and landed in a time capsule. Now, here's the kicker. One of these bad boys recently sold for $2.50 million at auction. That's enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of Teslas, or, $2.5 million lottery tickets. So, what's the secret sauce? Why this coin? It's all about something called the full steps designation. On the reverse side of the Jefferson nickel, there's a little building called Monticello. If the steps leading up to it are perfectly struck and completely visible without any wear or blending, it's a big deal to collectors. The 1984 P with full steps is incredibly rare, and that's what makes it so valuable. Here's a fun fact, most coins you'll find in circulation have been through the ringer. They've been dropped, scratched, and jingled around in pockets with keys. But every once in a while, you'll find a coin that's been spared all that abuse. Maybe it was part of someone's collection, or maybe it just got stuck in a jar for decades. That's the kind of coin we're looking for here. I remember one time as a kid, my grandma gave me a jar of coins to sort through because she thought it would be a fun hobby. At the time, I was like, great, Grandma, another weird project. But guess what? I actually found a coin worth about $50, not millions, but hey, it's more than the price of a jar of coins, right? Now, every time I see loose change, I think, is there a hidden fortune in here? Turns out, Grandma was onto something. Thanks, Grandma. So, here's the takeaway, folks. If you've got a stash of coins lying around, take a closer look. That 1984 P. Jefferson nickel could be sitting right under your nose, and who knows? It might just change your life. Even if you don't find the $2.5 million jackpot, you could uncover something cool and valuable. Before you go running off to dig through your piggy bank, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've got more coin hunting tips, stories, and strategies coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Let's turn spare change into big bucks, one coin at a time. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Okay, hear me out. What if I told you that a little coin sitting in your change jar, a 1993 P. Jefferson nickel, could be worth over $2 million? Yep, 2.2 million. Don't drop your coffee, unless you're trying to pay for a new carpet with nickels. But seriously, today, we're diving into the wild world of coin collecting and how this humble nickel turned into a millionaire maker. Buckle up because you might just want to raid your couch cushions after this. So, let's break this down. The 1993 P. Jefferson nickel, we're talking about the one with the P mint mark, made in Philadelphia, doesn't usually scream, "I'm worth millions." It's a standard 5-cent piece that most of us toss into vending machines or lose in the laundry. But one particular version of this coin, it's special. Like, should come with a cape special. Here's the kicker, it's not the nickel's age or design that's making headlines. It's the condition. The coin that sold for $2.2 million was graded as MS-68 by the experts at PCGS. That means it's in near-perfect mint state, no scratches, no fingerprints, no evidence that it was jingling around in somebody's pocket with lint and a piece of gum. I mean, who keeps a nickel this pristine? The owner must have had a vault made of bubble wrap. I'll be honest. If this nickel came from my house, it would probably have chew marks on it from the dog. But hey, if you've got a sharp eye and a good magnifying glass, you might be sitting on a fortune. The trick is to look for coins that are shiny, clean, and have sharp details. Or, as I like to call it, the Beyoncé of nickels. But wait, there's more. Collectors pay big bucks for coins because of rarity, and the MS-68 1993 P. Jefferson nickel. Only a handful exist in that grade. It's like finding a 4-leaf clover that also doubles as a winning lottery ticket. Now, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I found an old jar of coins in my grandma's attic. I thought, jackpot. I spent hours sorting through them, hoping to find a rare penny or maybe even a silver quarter. Spoiler alert, all I found was 47 Canadian pennies and a button. But it taught me an important lesson, patience. You never know when you'll strike gold. Or, in this case, nickel. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your pockets, your piggy banks, and that jar of coins you've been ignoring. Your next nickel might be worth millions. And if you're feeling inspired to learn more about coins worth big bucks, hit that subscribe button and join our treasure hunting community. I'll be here with more tips, tricks, and stories to help you turn spare change into serious cash. Now, before you start flipping over every nickel you see, let's get into the backstory of why this coin is worth more than some people's houses. The 2002 D. Jefferson nickel was minted in Denver, hence the D, and, at first glance, it seems pretty ordinary. Thomas Jefferson on the front, Monticello on the back. Classic. Nothing flashy, but here's the kicker, out of millions of coins produced that year, a small number of them were struck with a very unique error. And let me tell you, coin collectors love errors like they love free donuts at work. So, what's the deal with this particular nickel? Well, the error lies in the die, that's the stamp used to imprint the design. A batch of these nickels was struck with an off-center die, giving them a quirky, misaligned look. Think of it like an artist's doodle gone rogue. Instead of looking flawed, though, these errors became an instant hit with collectors, and here's where it gets really juicy, these nickels are extremely rare. How rare? Imagine trying to find your phone after you've just placed it somewhere while holding 3 other things. That rare. So why are collectors willing to drop a cool $2 million for this tiny coin? First, rarity. Second, it's got a great story, and who doesn't love a coin with personality? Third, it's basically the Beyoncé of nickels. Everyone wants it, but only a lucky few can have it. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I got into coin collecting after finding a funky-looking penny in my change at a coffee shop. I was convinced it was worth a fortune. Spoiler, it wasn't. But that little adventure taught me something important. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. That's why, to this day, I always check my pocket change. You never know when you might find a Jefferson nickel worth more than your car. Alright, so here's what you need to do if you want to check your coins. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone camera. Look for the year 2002 and the D mint mark, which will be on the front near Jefferson's portrait. If the design looks a little off, like someone punched it after a bad day, you might have a winner. Have you ever heard of finding treasure in your pocket change? No, I'm not talking about the time you found that crumpled $5 bill in your jacket. Today, we're diving into a story so shiny, it might blind your wallet, the 2006 mint mark Jefferson nickel. Yep, that little 5-cent piece you might have overlooked could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.90 million. I know what you're thinking, a nickel? Seriously? Oh, trust me, it's no joke. Stick around because I'm going to tell you why this coin is so valuable, how to spot one, and my own close but no cigar coin story that'll have you laughing and crying. Let's rewind to 2006. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was cranking out millions of Jefferson nickels with the new forward-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. But here's where it gets spicy. A few of those nickels were minted with some super rare errors. These errors make them the unicorns of coin collecting. One particular specimen recently sold for $1.9 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, million. That's like turning 5 cents into a luxury mansion. Okay, so what makes this nickel so special? It all comes down to a couple of key factors. The 2006 Jefferson nickel in question has a unique misprint. These errors are incredibly rare because the U.S. Mint has rigorous quality control. But when mistakes slip through, collectors lose their minds. This $1 million nickel is in pristine condition, graded as MS 69. That's just one tick away from being perfect. If you've got a coin that's been chilling in your pocket with gum wrappers, it's probably not going to fetch as much. Coin collectors are like sneakerheads for rare Jordans. When a rare coin like this shows up, the bidding wars go wild. Everyone wants a piece of history, especially if it's shiny. Now, don't go dumping your piggy bank all over the living room just yet. Here's what you should look for: tongue sticking out mint mark. Check under the date for the tiny letter P. That stands for the Philadelphia Mint. Is it shiny and scratch-free? If so, you've got a contender. Look for anything unusual. Is the design slightly off-center? Are there extra lines or weird smudges? That's what coin nerds like us call a jackpot. Here's a quick personal story. A few years ago, I found a 2006 Jefferson nickel while cleaning out my car. My heart practically did a backflip because I noticed a slight smudge near the mint mark. I grabbed a magnifying glass and inspected it like I was auditioning for CSI, Coin Squad. Long story short, it turned out to be just dirt. Womp womp. But hey, it taught me the value of double-checking every coin in my change jar. Alright, folks, there you have it, the fascinating tale of how a simple 2006 Jefferson nickel could be worth a life-changing $1.9 million. The odds of finding one are slim, but hey, so are the odds of winning the lottery, and people still buy tickets, right? So here's your mission: the next time you're handed change, take a good look at those nickels. Who knows, you might just strike gold, or nickel, in this case. You're digging through your pocket change, hunting for a vending machine snack, and boom, you've got a coin that could make you a millionaire. Sounds unreal, right? But here's the kicker: a 2010 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark is making waves in the coin world, selling for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yup, $1.80 million for a 5-cent coin. Stick around, because today we're diving into what makes this little piece of metal worth more than a luxury yacht. Plus, I'll share a wild story about the time I almost cashed in a valuable coin for a cup of coffee. Spoiler, big mistake. Okay, so let's get into it. The Jefferson nickel is an everyday coin you've probably seen 1,000 times. But this 2010 D Jefferson nickel is not your everyday coin. It's the needle in the haystack. What makes it so special? 3 things: condition, rarity, and errors. First up, condition. If your nickel looks like it's been through a war zone, or the inside of your couch cushions, sorry, it's not worth much. The $1 million nickels are graded as MS-68, meaning they're almost flawless. Imagine a coin that's been preserved like a museum artifact. That's what you're looking for. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 2010 D nickel isn't rare just because of the year or the Denver mint mark. It's rare because most of them were mass-produced with standard designs. However, a few special ones were struck with unique characteristics, like double die errors or misaligned dies. Translation: a minting oopsie makes your coin more valuable. Who knew mistakes could be so profitable? Oh, and here's where it gets fun: error coins. This particular $1.8 million nickel was found to have a subtle die clash that's nearly invisible to the naked eye. Imagine spotting a tiny ghost-like line on your nickel and realizing it's worth more than your car. Wild, right? But hey, don't just run off to the coin dealer with every nickel in your junk drawer. Let me save you some time with this quick checklist. Check the date and mint mark. You're looking for 2010 with a little D on the right-hand side. Examine the coin's surface. Use a magnifying glass to spot any unusual patterns, double strikes, or odd lines. Condition matters. If it's shiny and scratch-free, you're off to a good start. And now, here's my facepalm story. A few years ago, I was at a diner, starving, and only had coins on me. I pulled out a shiny nickel I'd been saving, handed it to the cashier, and walked away with a slice of pie. Later, I realized that coin was a rare 1950 D Jefferson nickel worth hundreds of dollars. Yep. I traded a fortune for pie. Learn from my mistakes, folks. Always double-check your change before spending it. So, could you be sitting on $1 million nickel? Maybe. The next time you're emptying your pockets or checking your coin jar, keep an eye out for that elusive 2010 D Jefferson nickel. It's proof that even pocket change can pack a serious punch. If you found this helpful or just enjoy the idea of finding treasure in your couch, hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips coming your way about coins, cash, and strategies to turn everyday finds into big bucks. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and share this with a friend who might have a jackpot hiding in their pocket. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Have you ever dreamt of striking it rich without lifting a pickaxe or solving a Rubik's Cube? What if I told you the key to $1 million might be jingling around in your pocket? That's right, today we're diving into the wild and wacky world of the 1964 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel, a humble 5-cent coin that could buy you a mansion. Yes, you heard me right. Stick around, because this is the story of how a nickel turned into a jackpot and why collectors are losing their minds over it. And so, let's start with the basics. What exactly is the 1964 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel, and why does it have coin collectors scrambling like it's Black Friday at a minting convention? First off, in 1964, the U.S. Mint churned out nickels like it was their full-time job, because, well, it was. Millions of these coins were produced across mints in Philadelphia and Denver. But here's the kicker: Philadelphia coins typically didn't carry a mint mark back then. So, a no mint mark on a 1964 nickel wasn't special at all. But hold up. Not all no mint mark 1964 nickels are created equal. What makes this one so valuable? It's all about condition, rarity, and a little bit of luck. You see, most 1964 nickels are worth, well, 5 cents, maybe $1 or $2 if they're looking particularly shiny. But there's a teeny tiny number of these nickels that have been preserved in near perfect condition for decades. That's where the grading comes in. Coin grading is like assigning a GPA to your nickel. The scale goes from 1, poor little thing barely survived, to 70, this coin is basically Beyoncé. A few 1964 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickels graded at MS 67 plus or higher have hit the market, and that's when the real fireworks start. Collectors are willing to shell out jaw-dropping sums for coins that pristine. And when I say jaw-dropping, I'm talking over $1 million for one coin. Let that sink in, $1 million for something that used to buy a pack of gum. Okay, story time. A few years back, I was rummaging through my old coin jar. You know the one, where you toss spare change thinking you'll roll it up someday but never actually do. Anyway, I came across this 1964 nickel. For a second, my heart skipped a beat. I'd read about these rare coins and thought I was about to call my boss and tell them I'm retiring. Spoiler alert, my nickel was worth exactly 5 cents. Turns out it had some wear and tear, like it had gone 10 rounds with a soda machine. But hey, it was still a fun little adventure, and I got to learn a lot about what makes these nickels valuable. Now, if you're thinking about diving into your piggy bank to hunt for one, here are a few tips. First, grab a magnifying glass or one of those cool jeweler's loupes. Trust me, you'll feel super professional. Look for coins with a sharp strike, full steps on Monticello, that's the building on the back of the nickel, and minimal wear. And don't forget to check the date, 1964, no mint mark, is what we're after. If you think you found a treasure, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you whether you've struck gold, or nickel, in this case, or just have a really shiny piece of pocket change. Oh, and here's a pro tip, don't clean your coins. It might seem like a good idea to polish them up, but collectors actually prefer coins in their original, unaltered state. So, there you have it. The 1964 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel might just be one of the coolest hidden treasures out there. While not every nickel from 1964 is worth millions, it's worth taking a closer look at your change. Who knows? Your next coffee run might be paid for by a coin worth more than a Tesla. Before you go, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. I'll be here every week with more tips on coins worth money, treasure hunting strategies, and quirky stories to keep you entertained. And hey, if you find $1 million nickel, promise you'll come back and share your story. Until next time, happy hunting.